So in this session, we'll see nested loops. Okay, so what is actually nested loop? If I ask you, like, what is nested loop? So basically, the definition of nested loop is loop within a loop, loop within a loop. Now, I'll try to explain you with an analogy. I'll try to explain you with an analogy. Now imagine that uh, someday you have this thought in your mind that I want to eat golgappas. So in that case, what will happen? You will go to the golgappa counter. So you can see that like, this is the counter. There are a lot of golgappas here, and this is the golgappa seller. Okay, so this is the golgappa seller who is selling golgappas. Now, one day, what happened? You came to him and you said, like, Bhaiya, please give me one plate golgappa. And suppose one plate golgappa is something equals to six golgappas. Now, what will happen? This seller will keep on giving you the golgappas. So it's something like you have a plate in your hand, and the person will give you the first golgappa, then second golgappa, and now you can see that like this is kind of a loop. This is a kind of loop is happening, and this loop will happen six times. Okay, so this loop is happening. So what is a loop? When you are asking for one plate, so it is starting a loop of six golgappas. Okay, that is fine. Now imagine that like you liked it. You liked those golgappas which you ate from that seller. So what will happen? You told your friends, family that I will like let's go to that Golgappa shop someday and we'll all having Golgappas. Now what will happen? What will happen after that? So suppose there are three friends came to like eating the Golgappas. Now suppose they are standing in a queue. So this is Chintu, this is Mintu, and this is Pintu. Chintu, Mintu, Pintu. Now imagine that, like if this Chintu is here, now in that case, what will happen? Suppose this seller started giving the Golgappas. So you know when you know that like here what is happening? This seller will start giving Golgappas to Chintu first. Okay, so you can see that like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. After giving 6 Golgappas, Chintu is over. Now it start giving Golgappas, 6 Golgappas to Mintu. Then it will, when Mintu is complete, then it will give to the Pinto. So you can see that like imagining that like the seller is serving one by one. First Chintu is getting served with 6 Golgappas, then Mintu, then Pinto. So now you can see that we have actually like each time we have run a loop of 6 times. Each time we have run a loop of 6 times. But how many times we did it? कितनी बार हमने basically we ran the six loop. So basically this is we ran it 3 times. And now imagine that another day many people are coming to the seller because the seller become very popular. Okay. सुंदोरी लाल की सुंदोरी लाल के गोलगप्पे. So basically imagine that this is the shop name. And suppose there are many people and around, imagine that there are 100 people came to that shop. For each one, what he will do is he will repeat six golgappas, six golgappas, six golgappas. But how many times he is actually doing this thing? So it is actually doing 100 times. That means already 100 times of loop is running. For each time he is actually serving six golgappas. So you can see a loop inside a loop. Loop inside a loop. You can observe a loop inside a loop here. Now let's see if I just show you with an example. Nested loops, and if I create ripple, so here what I'll do is I'll remove all this. Now here, suppose imagine like if I running a Golgappas, suppose if I'm running a loop of Golgappas. for int Golgappas. Now in Golgappas, what is happening? So it is actually starting from Golgappas. Suppose each time he is actually serving 6 Golgappas and Golgappas plus plus. And suppose if I'm printing this system dot print ln, and if I print in Golgappa plus, and I am here just putting the variable of Golgappa. So it will tell me 1, 2, 3 how many Golgappas are done. So now if I write it Java main dot Java, and if I press enter, now let's see what will happen. So here you can see that Golgappa 1, Golgappa 2, Golgappa 3, Golgappa 4, Golgappa 5, 6. Now suppose this is for Chintu. This is for Chintu. Now suppose we have another one whose name is Mintu. Whose name is Mintu. So we are actually, what we are doing is we are repeating the uh, loop for Mintu. So you can see this, like if I run this loop, now this is the loop for Mintu. So you can see that this is a loop for Mintu, this is a loop for Chintu. So now they all are actually coming. Now suppose there is another one who came there to eat the loop, eat the Golgappas. Suppose this is Pinto. Suppose this is for Chintu. Now if I execute it, now let's see what will happen. So you can see that this is a loop for Chintu, this is a loop for Mintu. Now this is the loop for Pinto. Now you just analyze one thing. Here we are actually writing the loop 3 times. Okay. Now what if there are 100 people who came there to eat the Golgappas? Then in that case, I need to repeat this statement basically that much number of times. Suppose there are 100 people, then I need to repeat this loop 100 times. But can't you see the repeated task? I told you basically, you know already in other concepts like for loop, while loop, why we were using that, because there is a certain task which is actually continuously repeating. So here you can see that this is the task which is actually continuously repeating. I'm exactly writing the same thing. And if suppose there are 100 people, then I need to write this statement for 100 times. So basically what we can do is, there is another way of writing it is, since I know that this loop I need to repeat it 3 times. So basically I will write for int times, how many times I will repeat it. So I will start from 1 and I will say that times is less than equals to 3 and times plus plus. So basically this is the way. Now this is the times. Now what I'll do is, I know that like I want to repeat something 3 times. So what I want to repeat it, I want to repeat this task. So I'll copy here. So now you can see that this is loop inside loop. So we know that like we need to repeat this 3 times loop like in this manner. Okay. So basically how we can do it. Now I'll comment this code and I'll show you if I run it. So basically here I'm actually repeating this task 3 times. So that is actually controlled by this one. So you can see that Golgappa 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Golgappa 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Golgappa 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I want key, like it should look good. So after when this loop will complete, when Golgappa 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 complete, then after that, after it done with the printing, then I can print a, basically you can say that slash n basically a next line. Then in that case, let's see how the output will look like. Now you can see that Golgappa 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is we are actually so using this way. If suppose 100 people are coming to basically eat the Golgappas. Now let's see in that case how many times it will get executed. So you can see that like many number of times. So how many times it actually repeated 100 times. So like if you just started counting it, so you will get it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So if you start counting it, then it is actually 100 times. So this is the beauty of nested loop. Now I'll just tell you the syntax of it. So the syntax for this for loop is something like this. For in here you will initialize the value, and then here you will that you will use condition, and here you will use the iteration, and you know that inside it whatever you will write that will get executed. So basically generally we used to put a code here. Now inside this what you can do is you can write another loop because we want to repeat this task again. Condition, iteration, and inside this you can see this like here what I can do is now you can write your code here. So basically that is the main point. That is the main point here. So like this is the code I've written here, and this is all the nested loop. Now let's see the execution. So execution will happen the same way. First it will go to this one, then it will go to this one, and then it will go to execution of this one. Now when we are actually executing this thing, so in this way what will happen? Another basically you can say that another iteration will start. A, B, and then C, and then D, and once when this loop will end, when this inner loop will end, after that it will go to this one, and from there it will again execute this one. So basically I can call it 4. Now after checking condition after 3, so again this inner machine will get activated, again this inner loop will run. Okay, so in this manner, you can see that like this will run. It totally depends upon how many times this want. How many times this want that key, this inner loop will execute. So if it is first, then it will execute it. If it is second, this will execute it. If third, then it will execute. It totally depends upon the outer loop. So this is known as outer loop, and this is known as outer loop. This is known as outer loop, and this is known as inner loop. Or you can also give another name to this outer loop is something like a manager. Okay. So manager is actually assigning a task to the team. So this is like, you can say that a team working on a task. The manager is saying one, so it is actually executing it. It is completing the task. And suppose like a team need to basically complete a task. A team generally take task to complete the task is 10 minutes. So this is something like suppose if this loop is running 10 times. So if our manager is saying that, okay, now again run it. So in that case, it will again execute 10 times. So this is the main point of this one. Now let's see if I want to, let's see the actual picture, how this thing actually work. Okay, how it actually look. So if I showing you in code, So basically what I'll do, I'm copying this code and inside this, what I'll do, I'll write a for loop. The for loop something like this, for int I equal to 0, I less than 3, I plus plus. Okay, now inside this, so here I want to write another loop. So what I want is, I want that like my j, here I am writing another loop for int j equal to 0 and j plus plus. And here I'm writing consistent.out.println. Hey bro, something like this. Okay, so here I've printed this thing. So what will happen? How many times this loop will get executed? So you can see that like here, this code, this code, if I talk about this code, so this will get executed 3 times, 0, 1, 2. So hey bro will get printed. Hey bro, hey bro. So let's see what this code is doing. So it is actually printing hey bro. Now, how many times this hey bro will get executed? So you know that like this will run 3 times. So that means it will print hey bro again, hey bro, hey bro, and the third time. Hey bro, hey bro, hey bro. Now this will be. Now let's see in execution whether it is printing it 9 times or not. If I just execute it, now let's see what will happen. So now you can see that it is printing actually 9 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is like what it is doing. Okay. So now let's see the dry run of it. Okay. Dry run, seeing dry run is very important. It's not dragon, it's dry run. So for I equal to 0, I less than 3, I plus plus. And then for j equal to 0, j less than 3, and j plus plus. And here inside this, we will see that SOP, and I'm writing a bro. So I'm closing the bracket. Now this is the code for this one. So this is the inner block of this one, what I've written. Now imagine that like if this thing will execute in this way, so it will be 1, 2, and then 3, and when this is done, then it will 4. But remember one thing, every time when this will get executed, again this loop will start. A, B, and then will come under C, then it will come under D, and then this loop will get executed. So let's see how it actually look like. So basically what we'll do is I'm creating a this here. So okay, now here I'll write the condition, and here I'll put the, I'll just show you what I want to write here. So basically here you can see that what I'm doing. So first is like first will come here, second will come here. First mein I equal to 0, second mein I less than 3, and third mein like the whole code, this loop code. So here I'll just write code, and the fourth one is I plus plus. Okay. Now, even if I'm talking about a code is actually containing a complete loop. That means another level of loop will run here. So in that case, what I'll do is I'll again create how many panels? 4, 4 columns. 1, 2, Okay, so 3. So basically this will look like this. Now let's see what I will do. I will say this is something j equal to 0, j less than 3, and here is the code hey bro, which will get printed, and the final is j plus plus. Now in this case, what I'll do is I'll start from here. Now let's see how this thing will work. Now starting my start loop will actually start from I equal to 0. So I'm saying I equal to 0. Now it will come to 0. So 0 is less than 3. So this is true. So if this is true, then in that case, what will happen? It will trigger the inner loop. Now for this one, for this value, I should write it here so it will look good. Suppose I equal to 0 and 0 is less than 3. That is true. Now, if it is true, then it will come to execute this. Now, this complete loop will get executed. So j is equal to 3. 0 is less than 3. That is true. Now, hey bro will get printed. And now you can see that like if I'm saying j plus plus, now j value will become 1. Okay. Now 1 is less than 3. That is true. Now you can see that hey bro will get printed. Okay. Now your j will become 2. Now 2 is less than 3. That is true. And then it will say hey bro and j equal to 3. And when the condition will fail, 3 is less than 3, that will false. Then what will happen is it will only take it out of this loop. Okay. So basically, after completing this, what will happen? It will again continue with the I value. So basically, you know that after after completing this third statement, after executing this point, it is actually coming to I plus plus. So now from this, it will come out of the I loop again. Now in the I loop, what will be my I value then? Now my I value will become 1 because previously it was 0. Now again, what we need to do is, again, I will execute this thing. So my I is 1 now. So again, we'll execute 1 is less than 3. That is true. It will check the condition. And again, this J loop will get triggered. So I'll again write J equal to 0, J less than 3, hey bro, and J plus plus. So again, imagine this. So I'm not writing this thing again. Just imagine that like this loop will get triggered again. So what I'll do is I'll write, then my just J loop will, so J value will start from 0 again from the beginning. So 0 is less than 3. That is true. Hey bro, J equal to 1. Or if then 1 is less than true. Hey bro, J is equals to 2. 2 is less than 3. That is true. Hey bro, and J is equal to 3. Now 3 is less than 3. That is false. So if it is false, then it will come out of it. If it is coming out of it, then I will become 2. Now, if I is become 2, then it will basically again, now here what will happen? My J is actually become I equal to 2. Now it will check here. 2 is less than 3. So 2 is less than 3. So that is true. Now it will say J, again J loop will start. So 0 is less than 3. That is true. Hey bro. So J equal to 1. 1 is less than 3. That is true. Hey bro. J value will become 2. So 2 is less than 3. That is true. It will print hey bro. Now J value will become 3. So 3 is less than 3. That is false. So if it is false, then in that case, it will come out of it. And now you can see that my I will become 3. Since my I will become 3, now again this loop will continue. 3 is less than 3, that is false. So this is an I loop. So if it is false, if something is happening like here, it is become false, then it will come out of the loop. So similarly, it will come out of the loop because the condition is getting false at I. So now that is the main point. And remember one thing, whenever the condition got filled, it will come out to the I loop. Now you can see that how many times this hey bro will get printed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is how the dry run actually happens for this scenario. Okay, so I hope you got the clarity, like how this how this basically nested loop is actually working, and you can you can run a loop inside another loop as many times you want. So that's all for today's session. Thank you, everyone.